Welcome back in, guys. Thank you for watching here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are playing Kerbal Space Program Console Edition, PlayStation 5. DLC, no mods on the consoles. Um, this video here is a video of what I was previously mentioning about sending the Kerbal Tours Mark III. What we're going to be doing is sending Jeb and crew, so Jebediah, Bill, and Bob, to go orbit the sun and then come back from orbit to accomplish becoming a level 2 pilot, engineer, and scientist. And so the Kerbal Space Agency here wishes them the best in their first flight of many to interplanetary space. And Jebediah, you are go for launch in T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now with this ship here, it's a little finicky, so we gotta manually fly it up versus blocking prograde. Right. Coast a little bit here. We will release. Oh boy. And we hit our engine. So now we got to revert to the flight here. Back to launch. Coast long enough. All right. Jebediah, again, you are a go for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Careful, careful. Right, now we coast a little bit. We're up. Release. Go. And cleared. Alright. Stage 1, nominal. Now, we want to get up and in orbit. our booster stage got us up. Stage 1 is now spent. Now this is where stage 2 needs to circularize our orbit. Well, as rocky as that was actually really efficient. We're gonna be in. We might hit orbit with stage 2. I think we might hit orbit with stage 2. Let's coast a little bit further. We're about 30 seconds from apoapsis here. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. Again. We'll give it to 20 seconds. Switch 3 camera view. Just get into orbit. All right, we are now in orbit. Being that we want to just go to deep space, we're going to burn at our lowest point, so our periapsis. And we just send it out there until you get that. Now that's ideal right here when you have your exit, which is the orange, and then you have if I do a perfect burn, I can get a perfect, we already have an re-entry trajectory as well, where I wouldn't even have to do any correction. So we would exit in 19 days. At it. You might be reading that wrong. Escape. Is there an encounter on that? That's what we want. So we're just gonna stick with that. That is what we want. All right. Now, then we'll extend the antenna. Because we have solar panels, we can go ahead and we'll turn the lights on for them. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to warp up to here. We're warp 17 minutes, 2 minutes out from our maneuver point. Go ahead and we're going to line up back again with our trajectory point, which is the blue here, the dark blue on your nav ball. So right here. And then what I recommend to do is do a quick save. Therefore, if you mess up, you can reload your quick save. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to zoom in and warp up here even closer. And we got our node in 15, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. All right. Now they will exit in 17 days, 2 hours, and 1 minute. So what I always do myself is set a node let's do an add a maneuver. You don't even need to add the maneuver. Just click add maneuver and then close out of it. And then that adds a maneuver there. 16 days, 4 hours, and 6 minutes. Well, they leave 17 days, 1 hour. So that's 3 hours. That node there will be 3 hours before they exit the space. And then there is nobody in there, so there's no point in burning electricity in a pod that nobody's in. Now what we could do just outside. Got my maneuver node up. Alright, so when you want to delete a maneuver, you come in, click on it, and then hit R1 until you get to this screen, and you hover up to X and delete that maneuver. And then that's why you add that maneuver node before it, because then once you get a little closer up towards there, you got 3 hours real time to be able to try to figure out how to get them back. Because really, when you just need to get them back, when you want to add the maneuver, you want to have them get an encounter again with Kerbal and have them come back in at about 56 to 58 kilometers from the surface. And then at that point, yeah, if you have 400 or 500 fuel left, you can at least cut it down to where their loop is only about 4 hours, 5 hours real time. But yeah, so that's that. So Jebediah, Bill, and Bob are headed down to deep space. We got a little bit less fuel than I would like going out there, but this is flight 1. So flight 1 is typically, the not polished out right away. But yeah, so that is that. So when you want to leave the vessel, you want to hit start, and we want to go to first, before we do that, let's go to tracking center. I want to get rid of the debris I just left out there. That. This is on sub trajectory, so I don't have to get rid of that. We do need to terminate that. Orbiting. All right, we had debris in the ocean. Sweet. All right, now we want to leave the track. Okay, so now we've got mission number 1 going for Jeb and crew to go to deep space. And we should be able to accomplish getting mission 2 done as well. And so what we want to do, since we just sent our scientist, our only scientist and only engineer, out to be out a good while. They're gonna be gone a good while. We want to hire some new, at least scientist and engineer. Only one scientist, I guess. All right. So now we have a new scientist, a new engineer, and they are going to get flown by Valentina. Now, this mission, is just a suborbital space flight. So we don't have to go out to the moon. So we're probably going to switch back to the Tours Mark II. No other tourists, so we'll just go ahead and we'll unless we send the tourist on a flight that was not planned. Let's do that. Let's stick with Kerbal Tours Mark III. Valentina, you're gonna fly. You're gonna pilot it. Scientist and engineer and our tourist. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go fly by the moon. because that will open up tourist contracts for moon flybys and orbits of the Kerbal. And that's how you can fund your space agency, is through tourism. So you kind of mix make a combination between Elon and Jeff Bezos in that instance, where you're funding with tourism, but also exploring, like Elon, and trying to, if this was Kerbal Space Program 2, if that would have panned out, we would have been able to colonize and go interstellar, and would have been, make ships in space. It would have been awesome. The game would have been awesome. But gotta love development. All right. So, Valentina, you are go for launch on the secret mission to the moon in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're out, Valentina. It's your first time flying, or we're out. Valentina, you want to separate at 20,000. Good separation. Everything remains nominal. All right. And as we run out of fuel on stage 1, go ahead and separate. Drift. Not paying attention. Alright, we're gonna have debris again. Now we gotta find the moon. We're pretty circular, so it doesn't really matter where we go. Alright, the moon's right there. About right here. Yep. Where is the Now we go ahead and we line up our position. Come back in here. Our mark is there. Over here. That gives us about 2 minutes before the maneuver point. Come back in. Reline back up. And do a quick save. Now, this time, go ahead and turn the lights on for everybody. Extend our antenna. Now we got our maneuver point. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and we have a moon encounter. Moon encounter is in 4 hours. Add maneuver node there. So now we can go ahead, go back to the tracking station here. Toggle our debris. And our debris is on a suborbital trajectory, so that is positive. That's good. That means it's going to come down, so I do not have to terminate that. We can just let it come down. And so how you toggle it on the console, you don't want to have everything toggled. Or else it'll slow your console down. You'll get a lot of gray screen or blue screen errors, however you want to call it. So really just toggle what you're working with. If you got main missions, you want to have your ships toggled. When you get satellites, if you're positioning a satellite, keep them up. But once you have them positioned, there they are. Once you have the satellites positioned, then you can just toggle them off. They'll still be there, but you don't have to have them on the tracking thing where you need to be aware of the maneuvers and things like that. And that'll help with your frame rates and everything to be able to run a lot smoother. Especially do that if you're on like the PlayStation 4. That would You're really gonna need to just limit what missions you're running. But we'll go ahead and we'll head back to the station. So we got 2 missions in progress. Um, and that is the video here. We'll go ahead and we'll save. But again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, this is Kerbal Space Program Console Edition. Catch us on the next video here for the return of Valentina and the new astronauts and the tourists. Um, Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope everybody has a wonderful evening.